Billionaire co-founder of Indian IT giant Infosys, Narayana Murthy recently revealed the biggest regret of his life. His big regret, as he called it, is regarding his wife. One of the most accomplished entrepreneurs of the country, Mr. Murthy is married to an equally accomplished Sudha Murthy. In a recent interview to CNBC TV 18, Mr. Murthy said he regrets keeping Mrs Sudha Murthy away from Infosys. Infosys, as you know, is one of India's biggest IT companies and was founded by Mr. Murthy and 6 others in 1980s. Mr. Murthy further added that Mrs. Murthy is even more qualified than all 7 co-founders of Infosys. But then, why did he keep her away from the company he founded? Mr. Murthy responded to that question by saying that he had this feeling that good corporate governance meant not bringing family into it. And that's the reason he kept Mrs. Murthy away from Infosys. Unlike some of the other things Mr. Murthy has said in the past, including his remark about 70-hour work week, this is unlikely to instigate any debate. In fact, most on social media agreed with Mr. Murthy that Mrs. Sudha Murthy is indeed a very accomplished individual and they would have loved to see her become a part of Infosys. Agreeing with Mr. Murthy that he was wrongly idealistic in not allowing Sudha Murthy to join, especially since it was Mrs. Murthy who gave him the seed capital of Rs 10,000 to set up Infosys. Born in Karnataka in 1950, list of Sudha Murthy's individual accomplishments is pretty long. But her only formal association with Infosys is her involvement in the Infosys Foundation, which she started in 1996 and to date remains its trustee. Mrs. Murthy's list of accomplishments include the Padma Shri Award, the 4th highest civilian award given to her by the Government of India for her social work in 2006. Later in 2023, she was awarded the Padma Bhushan, the 3rd highest civilian award in the country. Aside from this, Mrs. Murthy is also known for being the first female engineer hired at Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company or Telco. She later joined the Walchand Group of Industries as a senior systems analyst in Pune. Mrs. Murthy is also a visiting professor at the PG Center of Bangalore University and has also taught at Christ University in the past. But the list of her accomplishments doesn't end there. Mrs. Murthy is a popular and accomplished author. She has penned down several books, including novels, non-fiction, and travelogues. Her writing has been translated into all major Indian languages. Mr. and Mrs. Murthy's daughter Akshata Murthy is married to British PM Rishi Sunak. Their son Rohan now runs his own AI venture called Sirocco.